Hey friends, Philip here. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about why art in music is important. As I've spent the last 8 or 9 years in the music industry, I've come across a lot of misconceptions, both from musicians and from those that just listen to music, and even those that really love music and support bands and performers and things like that. So the first thing that most people don't understand is that recorded music, like what you listen to on Spotify, what's on the radio, what gets played as background tracks on TV shows and movies, the only thing that as musicians we actually make is treated now, and this is generally speaking, as a marketing expense, meaning that when someone goes in to record a song in the studio, in their mind and in their management's mind, the best case scenario is that they make $0 off of that song. The reality is that they'll probably spend more money in the recording and in the marketing and publicizing of that song than they'll ever make back in streams and licensing, in selling albums, and the different ways that we make money off of recorded music. So just stop and think about that for a second. The only thing that musicians actually make that can live beyond their physical reach or live beyond their lifetime is now considered marketing expense. It's not considered the thing we make, it's considered a marketing expense. What most performers make their living off of is live performances and merchandise. So the reality is that most musicians out there are really t-shirt salesmen, or women, and performers. And that's not a bad gig if you're a performer, but if you're an artist, where your drive, the internal motivation you have is to create, to start with nothing and make something and then present it to the world, that's a really bad deal. And this is why, if you've ever wondered why your favorite artists can only give you 10 or 12 songs every couple years at best. Sometimes you have to wait 3 or 4 years for that next album to come out, and then maybe they'll do a single, in between that, and there's that single, they'll be promoting it for months and months and months. It's because it's so expensive to record and to put a song out, and they just don't make that money back. So it's money that they're just spending in order to try to get exposure and build a fan base and all of those sorts of things. And I won't get into all those details. If you guys want to talk more about the economics of that, I could talk about that all day. Mention that in the comments. I'll do another video that we just talk about numbers. I know not everybody's into that. So this is why creating space for art in music is so important, because music there's just not the space for it in the way that we consume music for it to be art. Music is sort of this throwaway marketing product. Just think about, have you ever been to a trade show and all of the things that they just give away at the tables, little tchotchkes and squeeze balls and glow balls and, little USB drives that hold like 256K or whatever. That's how we view music now. That's how our society views music. That's how our world views music. And as a consequence, the music that we get, it plays down to that level. It plays down to that level of being a tchotchke to sell a VIP admission ticket to a concert. So, the reason I'm doing this Patreon thing is to move outside of that whole consumer business product model and say, look, there are things that I want to say. There's art that I want to make and put out there that I can't say and I can't make if I put it into this consumer model. If you've ever noticed some of your favorite artists, the further on they get in their career and the bigger they get, it seems like the shallower their albums are. That's because there's so much more money at play that they can't take the risks that they could earlier in their career. It's not even necessarily that they don't think in terms of the way that they did when they wrote that first album, although sometimes that does change. But they're not enabled to put that kind of music out anymore because there's too much money on the line. So, if you haven't checked out my Patreon page yet, I please encourage you to do that. This is my way of trying to find a way to put out music consistently, good music, high quality music, music that you can sit with for a while and it still brings you something new. This is my opportunity to do this, and this is our opportunity to bring this into the world together, because if we just let the music model go the way that it's going, this kind of music is going to have less and less space in our lives. And I think we all lose when that's the case. So please check out the site, message me with any questions, and let's just keep talking. Thanks, guys.